Hi guys, this is Umair back with another Java game development tutorial. Earlier I developed a snake game. If you want to see that tutorial, just see the link in the description below. In this tutorial I'm going to develop this breakout brick breaker game, and I need to break all these tiles with this ball, and I can move this slider, green slider, with my arrow keys. Alright, so I'm going to show you how it works. If I start pressing the arrow keys, the ball will start moving, and I can keep on moving the slider right and left, and as the ball touches different tiles, it's gonna remove that particular tile. Alright, and when it ends, you will see that when it ends, so let's complete it first. Let's just end it. Okay, you can see that the ball has gone down. I have the game over and scores 55, and press enter to restart. If I press enter, you can see that game has been restarted. So I'm gonna complete it and show you that what happens at the end. So guys, you can see that I have removed all the tiles from this panel, and I have got the message you won, and press enter to restart. Alright, so this is the game that we're gonna develop in this tutorial. So let's start. So I'm using Eclipse. I have already created this empty project. It has nothing inside it. So first I'm gonna create the main Java file. So I'm gonna right click source, new, and add a class, and I'm gonna name this class main, and I'm gonna check it to include a main method as well, because in Java one class must have a main method. Okay, so let's finish it. So you can see that my class has been created with the package brick breaker, and it has a main class, and inside the main class we have a main method. Alright, so everything we're gonna write would be inside this main method. So I'm gonna remove it, and I'm gonna first create the JFrame. JFrame is the outer window, the icons, the minimize icon, cross icon, this is the frame. So this is the built-in class. So I'm gonna write JFrame. I'm gonna make an object of it, new, and JFrame. Alright, there is an error because I have to add the package for it. So I'm gonna click on it, and I'm gonna import JFrame package. So this file exists in Java x.swing package. Alright, so I've created JFrame. Now I'm gonna set the properties for this JFrame. Alright, so let's add the background, actually the size of it. So object dot set bounds, and it has to create 10 by 10, 700, and 600. Alright, and object dot set title, and I'm gonna give it name breakout ball. Alright, now I need to set if it is resizable or not. I'm gonna make it fix. So set resizable false, and if it should be visible, we need to explicitly set it so visible is true. Alright, and now I'm gonna add set default close operation, JFrame dot exit on underscore close. Alright, so I've created the JFrame and set its properties. Now let's see if we have a frame or not. I'm gonna click it, and you can see that I have this empty frame opened. Okay, so now for the game I'm gonna create another class and name it gameplay. So I'll right click this package, new, and add a class, and I'm gonna name it gameplay, and I'm gonna finish it. Alright, so this class will be actually the panel. In the panel we will run our game, but first we need to add this panel inside this JFrame. Alright, so I'm gonna create an object of this class inside it, and gameplay equals to gameplay. Alright, I've created the object. Now I'm gonna add this object inside the object of JFrame. So object dot add gameplay. Alright, so actually it's giving me an error. It's showing that the object of this class is not the panel. Alright, it will be removed once we extend this class with the JPanel. Alright, in order to make it a panel, let's extend it, extends JPanel. Alright, so I need to add a package for it. Alright, you can see that that error has gone, and if I go to the main, you can see that that error on add has gone because the gameplay object has become a panel now. Alright, and I'm gonna implement the interfaces as well. I'm not gonna do later on, I wanna just do it right now. Implements key listener and action listener. Key listener for the detecting the arrow keys that I'm gonna press for moving the slider, and action listener for moving the ball. Alright, so I need to bring these packages, import key listener and import action listener. Alright, and it's showing an error because all the methods, abstract methods which resides in the interfaces have to be implemented inside the class that is implementing the key listener and action listener. Alright, so if I click on it, you can see that it's showing that add unimplemented methods. I'm gonna click on it, and it has created all those methods that was required by the key listener. Alright, this one is from the action listener and other three are from the key listener. I'm not going to write anything inside it. Alright, but first we need to add few properties that we're going to work with in our tutorial. So let's add private properties, boolean, play equals to false. Alright, because when game starts, our game shouldn't play by itself. Okay, and the starting scores should be 0, and what other things, private and total bricks, we can change it, but right now we have 7:3 map, so I'm gonna enter 21. And I need a timer class for setting the time of ball, that how fast it should move. So timer, and the speed that we're gonna give it to timer, that has to be in int. So delay equals to, let's say 8, and let's add the properties for the x-axis and y-axis of the slider and ball both. So let's add player x equals to 3 1. This is the starting position of our slider, and for the ball, private int ball position x, the starting position of ball would be 120 for x, and for the y, that has to be 350, and I'm gonna set the direction of the ball. Okay, so I'm gonna You will understand that what does it mean. So I'm gonna just enter -1. Just do it what I'm doing. Alright, so ball Y direction, that has to be -2. So we have set the properties. Anything left, there is an error. We need to add a package for it. Just click on it and import the timer. Alright, it's gone because it has added all those packages that were required for all those dependencies. Alright, so there is a built-in method inside. Okay, so first let's add a constructor. I'm not gonna go into that method right now. So gameplay, and inside the constructor, because I wanna add these values when this object will be created from here. So what we're gonna need now, we need to add the timer. It's create its object as well. So first add the key listener. In order to work with key listeners, we need to add a key listener, this. Alright, and set focusable true. And what we need now, we need set focus trans. I think, what is it? It's not showing me some help. Traversal keys enabled. I think that shouldn't give an error. It's working fine. And now I'm gonna create an object for the timer, and the speed of it is in delay variable, and the context is this. Alright, why it's showing me an error? One quick constructor timer int gameplay is undefined. Alright, so let's leave it. Maybe we have some dependency later on that we're gonna write. So I need to start the timer now. Actually, this is, let's name it timer. So timer dot start. Alright, so just ignore these errors. I'm gonna remove it later on. So I'm gonna add a function, public void paint, and it receives the graphics object, and with the help of this graphics object G, I'm gonna draw different shapes like slider, ball, and the tiles. So I'm gonna just click on it and import the graphics. Alright, so let's draw things. Okay, so first I'm gonna add a background. Background G dot set color. Everything we need to draw, we need to set the color of it. So color dot black. G dot, now we're gonna create the rectangle for the background, rect, and its position should be 1 1, and size should be 692, and height should be 592. Alright, let's import the package for color. Alright, we have created the background. Now let's create the borders. G dot set color, color dot yellow. That has to be the border, and I'm gonna create 3 rectangles for the border. So G dot fill rect 0 0 3 5 9 2. Alright, I'm gonna copy it and paste it, and I'm gonna change its value 692, and the width of it should be 3. Alright, and it has to be 592 as well, but it should start with 691. Alright, I'm not gonna add a border at the downside because I want a ball to move down for end the game. So now I'm gonna create the pedal, and g dot set color. Its color should be color dot green. G dot fill rect, and player X 550, 100 and 8. Alright, so now we need to create the ball. So I'm just going to copy it and paste it, change its color to yellow, and set the ball position X and ball position Y. I'm just adding the variables because I want to change it with the action performed as it should move with itself. Okay, so I'm gonna give it a size of 20 by 20. Alright, so we have added everything. If there is anything left, we have to create the tiles. I'm not gonna creating it, I'm just trying to move the pedal with my arrow keys. Alright, so for moving it, we need to add key listeners that it should detect if I have pressed the right arrow key or I have pressed the left arrow key. Alright, so inside the key pressed event, I'm just going to keep it simple. Alright, I don't need key typed or key released. Alright, so I'm just going to cut it and bring it upside down. It is required because it will give an error if these two are not added. Alright, but I don't need it. I'm just going to add my code inside key pressed event. Alright, so inside this key pressed event, I can detect the arrow keys. So if e dot get key code equals to key event dot vk underscore right. Alright, so we have detected the right key. Now I'm gonna just copy it and paste it right here, and if it's left, then change it vk underscore left. Alright, so if the right arrow key is pressed, then player X position should be incremented, but I need to check if it doesn't go outside the panel. Alright, so I need to check if it is greater than equal to 600, then keep it to the border of our panel. So player X equals to 600. Alright, inside else, just change increment it. I'm not gonna do it because I'm gonna create the methods. Move right now doesn't exist. Alright, so I'm just going to copy it and paste it, and I'm just going to change its values. If it's less than 10, then keep it to the 10. Alright, otherwise move left. So I'm gonna create these two methods right here. Alright, So let's create these two methods outside it. So I'm gonna create public void move right, and I need to change the variable play equals to true because it was set to false at the top, and I want to change the values of player X to 20. If it's pressed right, then it should move 20 pixels to the right side. I'm just copying it and paste it right here and change its name move left, play true, and it should be less than minus equals to 20. Alright, so I think that's been done. Alright, okay, so there is an error, we need to just comment it for now. Alright, and I'm gonna just run it, and you can see that there is a square and there is a slider. Alright, and I'm just going to press the right arrow key. There is nothing happening right now because we have commented it out. Just remove it. So the problem was that we were having this error. I have removed it right now because we were importing different package for the timer class. We were importing import java.util.timer. That is a different timer class, but for adding the parameters inside timer constructor, we need to import a different package, that is javax.swing.timer. Alright, so you need to import this particular package. If you import it, you can see that there is no error right now. Alright, and other thing that I have done is I have changed fill rectangle to fill oval because that was showing the square, and I have added the g.dispose as well, and inside the action perform, this method will be automatically called. We don't need to call it. Inside it I have started the timer and calling the repaint function. What it will do is it will recall this paint method and draw each and everything again. I need to do it because when I am just incrementing the value of player X or decrementing the value of player X, there is no change shown because this pedal doesn't redrawn again. I need to redraw this pedal. In order to redraw it, I need to call the paint method again. So for calling the paint method again, I need to call it with the repaint function. Alright, so if I just go and press the right arrow key, you can see that it's moving right and left. It's not moving outside it because there is a condition inside our code. Alright, so the pedal has started moving. Now let's add a code for the ball. Okay, we have already created the ball. In order to move the ball, we need to add a code inside this action performed event. Okay, so let's press enter after the timer.start and check if the variable play is true. Alright, if we have pressed right or left arrow key, it will be true. If the player is true, then I need to detect if the ball is touching the top, left or right or not. So for that I can say that ball position X plus equals to ball X direction, ball position Y plus equals to ball Y direction. Alright, and after that I can just check it if the ball position X is less than 0, then ball X direction should be minus ball X direction. Alright, I'm just going to copy it and paste it 2 more times, and I'm gonna change it to Y and change it to Y as well. Alright, and this is for the left border, this is for the top, and this is for the right. And for the right, I need to check if the ball position is greater than 670, then change the direction, the same thing that I have done right here. Alright, and I'm calling the repaint again. Alright, so I think it should work. I need to add a code for detecting the intersection between the pedal and ball, but let's see if it's working fine with the border of my panel or not. If I press left arrow key, you can see that it's working fine. It will not be touched with the pedal. Let's add a code for detecting its intersection with the pedal. So for detecting it, first I need to create a rectangle around that ball, because for detecting the intersection of two different objects, we can do it with the rectangle, but we have an oval for the ball, so let's create a rectangle for that oval. So I'm gonna create a new rectangle object, ball position X, ball position Y, 20, 20. Alright, dot intersects equals to new rectangle, and it has to be for the player. Alright, I need to import the package for rectangle. Let's import java.awt, and inside the body of if, I can just add ball Y direction equals to minus ball Y direction. Alright, so I think that should work now. Let's run it and let's see if it detects the intersection or not. You can see that it's detecting, it's touching the top, right, and the ball is moving with the speed of 8 that we have added in our delay variable. Alright, so for now that's pretty fine. So now let's create the bricks. It's not easy because we also need to detect the ball intersection with the individual brick and with which brick the ball has been intersected. We need to handle all these things. Alright, so for that let's create a new class, and I'm gonna name it map generator. Alright, so let's add code for generating the map. I'm gonna create a generic map because I have given the value of 21. If I want to change the values of bricks, I should change it. I'm not gonna make a static bricks. Okay, so I'm gonna add a 2D array, public int map, that will contain all the bricks. So, and I need to have brick width, public int brick height. Alright, and inside the constructor of map generator, I want to receive the number of rows and columns, that how much rows and columns should be generated for a particular number of bricks. So inside it, I'm gonna instantiate 2D array with the values of row and column. All right, and then int I equals to 0, I is less than map dot length and I plus plus. And inside the other loop, I need to iterate through the columns. So I need to start it with the map length and j plus plus. So inside it, I want to add the value equals to 1. Alright, so what's the logic of adding 1 inside each element of this 2D array? Alright, 1 will detect that this particular brick have not been intersected with the ball, because this has to be shown on the panel. And if I don't want to draw any particular brick inside my panel, I will change the value of that particular position to 0. Alright, so now I need to set the width, brick width equals to 540 divided by column, and brick height equals to 150 divided by row. I can change its value, alright, but I would recommend you to don't change it. Okay, so once the constructor will be called, we also need to have a function for drawing those particular bricks. So public void, I need to have a draw function, and it should have a graphics 2D object. And when this function will be called, the bricks will be drawn on the particular positions where there is a value of 1. Alright, so let's create these two functions. I'm gonna copy it and paste it. Alright, add another bracket. There is an error because I need to import the package as well, so import Java 2D package. Alright, and inside it I need to check if the particular value is greater than 0 or not. Alright, then create that particular brick inside that particular position. Alright, so again I need to set the color dot white. Alright, and then draw the rectangle, fill rect at the position j multiply by brick width plus it should be 80. Alright, and for the y, I multiply by brick height. And it should be plus with 50. Alright, and here I need to add the brick width and brick height. Alright, there is another function needs to be inside it in order to detect the collision, but right now we just need to draw the bricks at the particular positions. Alright, if it works fine, then we're gonna write another function to detect the intersection of ball and the individual bricks. Alright, so I think for now that's enough for this class. Now go to gameplay, and inside the constructor of that gameplay we need to create the object of this map generator class. Alright, so first let's create a variable for it. So private map generator, and inside the constructor I'm gonna create an object of it, map generator, and the number of rows should be 3 and the column should be 7. Alright, so that's created. Now we need to call the draw function inside this class. So let's draw it, drawing map and map dot draw. I need to pass this object. Alright, after converting it to the 2D graphics. Alright, I need to import it, Java graphics 2D. Actually, I need to click on it. Don't click on this cross button and import graphics 2D object. Alright, just don't change anything inside this class. So I think that will generate a map. So now let's run it. You can see that it has not created any map. It has created a map, but there is not anything that we can differentiate the individual brick. We need to add a border around individual brick. So let's go to map generator, and inside it let's create a black border. So g dot set stroke new basic stroke 3. Alright, and after that set the color to black because the background is black. So set color dot black. Alright, let's import its package and now create and draw the rectangle. J multiply by, just copy and paste it at the downside. Alright, in the black color. So that's been done. Now let's go and run it. It's not running. Let's go to gameplay, save it. Alright, I think it should work, but let's go to game and reload it. It's not generating the bricks, so let's find out where is the error. I don't need to fill it. Actually there are bricks, but we have filled it. I need to draw it. Okay, now let's go and run it. You can see that our bricks have been drawn with a 3 by 7. Alright, so if I just move the ball, there is nothing happening, there is nothing intersection. We need to detect the intersection and detect that ball is intersected with which brick and change the value of that particular brick to 0. Alright, so now let's go and do it. First I need to create the function inside it. Public void set brick value, int value, int row, int column, and inside it map row column and change its value to value. I'm gonna pass it a 0 inside this particular variable. Alright, so this is everything that we needed for this class. Alright, we need to go and add a code inside our gameplay class inside this action performed. Alright, so come right here after this if condition and we need to make the logic first, that how this thing would be done. First I need to iterate through each and every brick. So let's add a loop, add a variable, and I is less than map dot length. Alright, and for int j equals to 0, and j has to be less than map the first map dot length. Alright, and now we need to iterate through, change the spelling of length. Okay, so here we need to detect if map dot, so you might be confusing that what is map. Actually this map is this variable. Alright, and the second map is this variable. Alright, so we are accessing this 2D array with the object that we have created inside this class. Alright, so don't be confused with it. So if map of particular position is greater than 0, then detect the intersection. Alright, so for the intersection we need to first detect the position of ball and the position of brick with respect to the width and height of that brick. So let's create 4 variables. So int brick x equals to j multiplied by map dot brick width plus 80, int brick y equals to I multiplied by map dot brick height plus 50, int brick width equals to map dot brick width, and int brick height equals to map dot brick height. So we have created 4 variables. Alright, now let's create the rectangle around that brick. So I need to create the rectangle class. Rect equals to new rectangle, brick x, brick y, brick width, brick height. Alright, and create the rectangle around that ball in order to detect the intersection. So rectangle ball rect equals to new rectangle, ball position x, ball position y, 20 and 20. Alright, and I want to create another rectangle actually. So brick equal to rect and pass the reference of this particular rectangle. So we have created these bunch of variables. So now let's check if it intersects or not. So let's ball rect dot intersects brick rect. Alright, if the ball is intersecting the brick rect, what we want to do, we want to call this function and change its value to 0. So map dot set brick value 0 for which position, row and column, that is I and 0. Alright, and now we need to set the total bricks to 1 less than previous value, and let's decrement the scores that we haven't added yet, drawn yet, but let's add the value for it. So I think that's done. but it will create problem for the left and the right intersection. So let's add a code for it. If ball position x plus 19 is less than 19 is less than equals to brickrect dot x, or ball position x plus 1 is greater than equals to brickrect dot x plus brickrect dot width. Alright, inside this if condition we need to move the ball to the opposite direction. So ball x direction equals to minus ball x direction. Alright, and inside the else condition we need to move the ball towards the right, towards the top or bottom direction. So ball y direction. Alright, so if that has been intersected and that's gone, the ball is being moving, we need to take the compiler out of that outer loop. Alright, we can add a breakpoint, but it will not work. It will only take the compiler out for this inner loop. We want to take it out to, from the outer loop. We can use break label. So I'm gonna give it a name break A and add a label right here. Alright, it will take this out from here. Okay, so that's done. Alright, I think it should work. It's done as well. Let's run it and hope so that it will work. Okay, let's run it, and I'm gonna press left arrow key so you can see that it's working. Wow, it's looking so amazing, and it's intersecting pretty well from the right and left direction. Alright, so now what's left? We need to add the scores, we need to add game over, we need to add restart the game. So these are the three things that we need to add. There is a score, but we just need to show it inside it. So let's go up and add the scores for it. So for drawing the scores, let's come downside and add the scores. Let's add the color for scores. So set color dot white. Alright, okay, now we need to set the font properties, font class, and inside it we need to add the font style and font dot bold, and lastly the size of our text. It should be in double quotes. Alright, now let's draw a string. Alright, so score, and that should be at the position 590, and from the top it should be 30. Alright, so we are also incrementing it. Let's run it. You can see that there is a score. If it intersects with the break, you can see that it is incrementing. Alright, so score has been done. Let's add a code for game over if the ball goes down of this panel. Alright, so inside this I need to check if the ball y position is greater than any particular pixel value. Let's add y, and it should be 570. Alright, and the play has to be false. Ball x direction has to be 0. Ball shouldn't move ball y direction has to be 0, and we need to show some string that game over, press enter to restart. Alright, so let's add g dot set font. Let's add a color as usual. So color dot spelling mistakes, okay, g dot set font, new font. I'm gonna copy it and paste it right here. Alright, and its size should be 30, and its position, its string should be game over. So game over, and then scores, and this has to be shown at the center. So 190 and 30, 300. Alright, and I need to show another string for the, let's add, copy it and paste it, change its font size, and it should be just below this, and I need to change the string as well. Press enter to restart. Alright, so its Y position has to be at 350, so that will be shown, but the restart button will not work because we need to add the event for it first. So let's see if it's shown or not. Okay, I need to, there is an error. Where is the error? Actually that has to be all capital. Alright, so that's gone. Let's run it, and I want to move the ball down towards the bottom. So you can see that the ball has gone down and I have shown this error. If I press enter, nothing is happening, so I need to detect the enter event inside this key pressed. Alright, so let's come and add a key event. If e.get key code equals to key event dot vk underscore enter. Alright, and inside it, if not play means the game has been over or finished, then run this code. So play has to be true, ball position X has to be 120, ball position Y has to be 350, ball X direction has to be -1, ball Y direction has to be -2. And what are the things that we need to set to default? Let's add the player position. The default position is 310, and score has to be 0. Total bricks have to be the same as we added globally, that has to be 21, and create the map variable again. Alright, because we want to regenerate the map. So map generator 3 and 7, 3 and 7, and I want to repaint. Alright, so that will work. Let's run it and see if the enter key is working or not. It's gone. I'm gonna press enter, and you can see that the map has been redrawn, everything have been regenerated. Now the last thing that we need to do is, if we finish our game. Alright, so how we can detect if we have finished our game, if the total bricks are 0. Alright, so let's come right here and add a condition. If total bricks is less than equals to 0, and I'm just gonna copy and paste it right here, and play has to be false, ball X direction has to be 0, Y direction has to be 0, red 30, and right here I need to change it U1. Alright, at the position a bit forward, and for this text I want to keep it like it. Alright, so it will work fine. Alright, so I'm not gonna showing you by playing it completely, but I'm pretty sure that it will work. If you complete the game, it will show you won and press enter to restart, and the game will be restarted. Alright, so our game is complete. I hope that you have liked my tutorial. I'm gonna make more tutorials, but I need your encouragement. Please share this video with your friends, with your fellows, thumbs up this video and comment below if you face any kind of problem. Thanks for watching my tutorial.